Welcome to a very special segment. In our studio we have Mrs. Sandra Shivdat. She's the founder of the Lusignan Good Hope Learning Center in Guyana. Sandra resides here in New Jersey, but felt the need to create this learning center for the poor children in those two facilities, Lusignan and Good Hope, which is on the east coast of Demerara. And it's a facility that's really helping the children with literacy, giving them a purpose to achieve excellence in their lives. And Sandra will tell you a little bit more about the facility and how it's been prospering since the inception of its establishment. So Sandra, once again, welcome. I know you were on Caribbean Spotlight. I thought it was 2 years ago, but you actually told me it was close to 5 years ago.
Yes, it has been a while.
Well, time definitely goes.
It does.
I remember I think it was the first year that
we just started.
You'd started, that you came onto the show, yes.
Correct.
So I know we definitely helped in creating the awareness in the community.
Of course, you did. You definitely did.
Which is a good thing. But you have since grown. The facility has made strides in Guyana in helping so many of the unfortunate children. So you can enlighten our viewers, our community, a little bit about what you have done so far, what strides the facility has made and progressed.
Okay, Kitanuju, we have done quite a bit. Our center, which was formed as a learning center, we had expanded that because the children that are coming into our community, into our center, are coming in with a lot more problems. So in addition to teaching them literacy and numeracy, we end up helping them at home. It is important that a child has a very good home environment so that it will be conducive for them to learn. And what we found out is a lot of our kids, some are hungry, they have all kinds of stuff going on in their home environment. A lot of domestic problems and stuff like that, and that's one of the issues that we have. So we have encountered medical issues, taking children to the hospitals. We have encountered food, starving families. We've been asked to help in mothers with domestic violence. We refer them to organizations such as Help and Shelter. But there's so much more problems going on in that community that face our children that affects them learning. And we all know that to develop their cognitive abilities, they need a home, a stress-free home environment. And that is something those children don't have. So at the center, in addition to teaching them to read, in addition to teaching them to count and all that good stuff, we also provide a sanctuary for them, somewhere where they can feel safe, somewhere where they can allow themselves to become children and be children. And that's what we've been doing. And what we're finding now is that the children, that they're trusting us, and then they're coming in and with so many problems that are going on at home and in school and in the environment.
So now what age groups do you actually facilitate?
We work with 5 years all the way through 17.
Now this is an after-school program, correct?
No, actually
initially it started as an after-school program.
It started as an after-school program, but we also have children coming in at 12 o'clock where they're dropouts. They do not attend any school. So they come to us for learning. We teach them. We have kids as old as 14 years old coming into us that could not recite the alphabet. So we start with those. And then at 2:30 into 3 o'clock, we have kids coming in who are students in other schools coming to us for help.
Now you have trained teachers that's on the premises.
We have 7 teachers right now. 5 of them are trained teachers who are teaching at other schools and come to us after. So they are doing the after-school program. And we have 2 other teachers who are there that starts at 12.
Now these teachers, are they volunteering services or are they paid teachers?
No, they're paid teachers. Everything that we have at the center, we have to provide.
And that's where the importance of having, our community contribute towards the facility so that you can continue to afford to have these teachers and the staff and the services to provide to the children.
Yes, everything we pay for. We pay for the cleaning of the facilities, the weeding, the maintenance, the teachers, everything. Nothing is volunteer, basically. We do not have any volunteers.
Now, prior to us commencing the interview, you had mentioned about some of the struggles that you have seen the children are enduring in their personal lives. And I'd like to ask you to share, some specifics of the types of instances that have actually come through the doors of the Learning Center where you had to actually, try to help those children so that they can feel safe. As you mentioned, the Learning Center is like a sanctuary for these children who are abused.
Yes, we have a lot of cases where children are coming in asking us to take them away from their homes. There are kids who were raped by people right in their house, fathers, stepbrothers, uncles, neighbors. We have a young 6-year-old that was raped by her uncle. We have kids that are cutting themselves on their hands because they've been abused. We have a little girl that at 7 years old, she was raped by her dad and continued to be raped. There's so many rape that's going on. So many abuse, sexual abuse of children. We're not even touching the physical abuse or the mental abuse. The sexual abuse are the ones that are really, really bothering the children,
so now,
and it's growing.
What do you think creates that?
Well, this was an issue that really bothered me because these are children that I deal with on a daily basis. These are kids who come and sit in front of me and cry asking me to take them away. So for me, I needed to find out why. I needed to find out why this is happening.
Right.
And in my research, I spent a lot of time talking to mothers, going around the community, talking to people. I went to police sergeants, detectives. I've gone to help and shelter. I've talked to so many people. And my research that I found is that the environment in where they live, poverty makes them susceptible to so many issues like drugs and alcohol. And then you have these young girls who are growing up in a place where peer pressure is on them. And what is happening is that you're finding that they're trading their sexual favors for a free ride in a taxi or tight jeans or a bottle of perfumes. And this is what is going on.
So these are all minors who are just trading favors.
Yes.
For trading sexual favors.
Yes.
Just to get material things.
Correct. And the other thing is there are materials that are available to children there that are so cheap on the market. Pornography DVDs, for example, it's one of them. And those homes that have cable TV, there's pornography 24/7 that's free, right? And research has shown that these are issues with children that affects them mentally.
So now, are the parents actually giving a vigil as to the types of programs their kids are watching at home?
No.
How about the internet cafes? I know there is a big surge of internet cafes in Guyana.
That's also an issue. The internet cafes, nobody monitors the children, and it's what, $80 to $100 an hour, and it's really set up really for children to go there and do projects in high school projects.
I'm sure that's the objective.
Exactly. But on a normal day, school day, during school hours, you could go to internet cafe from one after the other, and you will find children, you will find boys there during school hours, school age boys on the computer, not monitored, and they have their little flash drives that they're downloading stuff on, and those are things that are available, and it's not controlled.
So that's another epidemic, the pornography amongst the minors.
And you can go into the markets, all the markets. They're sold at $40 for DVD, sold to children. Again, it's not controlled.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it would be nice to see that the governmental agencies really taking this on the firm reins and trying to correct the types of evil that's getting into the minds and the hands of our young people in Guyana. So I truly hope that the ministers of social services, of all those different departments, can really see that this is going to become a tragedy for the young people.
One of the things that really bothered me, to the extent that I asked for a meeting with the Attorney General, And I sat and I explained several cases that we've had, you know, and asked for help. I asked that, because we have a case where a little girl, she was abused by her stepfather, and the government ended up taking her away and putting her in a shelter.
Rather than the stepfather.
Right. The stepfather is still free.
He should be in jail.
He should be in jail. But the mother refused to testify against him. So he is free. She's in a shelter. She was taken out from the home where she's comfortable with, you know, where she grew up,
Right.
that she
She's
knew
the victim,
the environment,
yeah.
and she was put into a home and into a shelter. And when I met her, after they took her away, I didn't see her for over a year. When I finally got to see her and I spoke to her, she was not the child that I knew. She was like floating around somewhere. She was just not that kid that I know.
Well, I'm sure it has a great psychological effect on her mind. You know, mentally disturbed from all the abuse that she was subjected to.
Definitely. And you would expect that some counseling would be provided for her.
Absolutely.
And she did say that they were counseled, but they were counseling group counsel in the shelter. I mean, she was sleeping on a bed with 2 or 3 other girls, and it was rough.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I brought up with him, and I said, you know, what are you doing about this child abuse?
Yeah. Well, you know, Sandra, I visited Ghana almost twice. I would say twice a year for the last 10 years. I've been going quite regularly, and every trip I do visit either an orphanage or a shelter or something of that sort to, you know, to be of service, whether it's feeding them, reading to the kids, and spending a whole day with them. And what I did find is counseling, psychological counseling, psychotherapy is lacking in these shelters. They're getting food, yes, people are coming there giving food and this and that, but the core of the issues in these shelters is not being addressed. And in my opinion, I feel that the government agencies should provide that service to all the various accredited shelters in Ghana, because you, as a founder of the Learning Center, you can only do so much. But you need the collaboration of government agencies to help you in making the Learning Center successful in reaching the minds of the young people. And I find that the counseling, psychological counseling, is a great need. It's lacking in all the shelters, and the kids are not, you know, their mental illness is not being addressed.
No, it's not. And you know what is scary? In such a small country, we have less than 1 million people. When you allow this situation to continue and to grow the way it's growing, and it is actually growing, one has to stop and think that,
I agree with you.
What is going to happen to this country?
Absolutely.
I mean, a country is not a piece of land. It's the people that resides in the country, that lives there, that makes it the country.
I agree with
and
you.
the quality of the people will determine whether or not you can develop that country and sustain development. But then when you have a population that is growing up with mental issues, what are we doing?
Absolutely.
And it's such
what are we doing? In
what
fact,
are we doing?
you know, you're doing what you can do, but again, it takes a team of people to help to fix the problem.
Yes, and you know, this we read about. You read about it in the newspaper. The children are our future. What future? Why aren't we protecting our future?
Yeah.
Right? Why aren't we doing something? Why aren't some of these guys that rape these children be in jail? You know, why is there a phrase like 12 is lunch? You hear it all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am very disturbed and upset that you know, nobody seems to care. And there are child protection laws in that country.
Yeah.
And we are signatory on the United Nations Rights for the Child, and yet we let our children, we let them scream silently.
Yeah, they become a cripple in society. They become that that person that grows up into being an adult that lacks confidence, self-esteem, mentally disturbed. And most times they'll end up being the criminals of the society.
Yes, I mean, research has shown that child abuse is like a virus. You know, it spreads. it spreads.
It's sad, but we have lots more to talk about. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Stay close. Welcome back to your special segment, and once again with me is Sandra Shivdat. She is the founder of the Lusignan Good Hope Learning Center in Guyana, and she's doing a remarkable job in really helping the destitute children, the unfortunate poor kids of Guyana, with their literacy and really giving them or having them look forward to excellence in their lives. Sandra, before we actually talk about some of the fundraising events that you need the help of from our community, let's speak about some of the struggles and some of the needs that you do require for the Learning Center to really succeed.
Well, what we are doing right now, Tanuja, we are picking up the slack from the schools. The schools, we have children coming to us that are 10 years old. They're in 6th grade and still cannot read. So you ask yourself, how did a child move from 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade into 6th grade and still can't read and are in a public school system?
Right.
So what happened there? Now, it's our duty, the first we do is to teach a kid to read. So that's something that we are taking over from the schools. We teach our kids to read, and when the kids become a fluent reader, their parents will take them now and send them into free lessons. Paid lessons. We give free lessons, they send them to the paid lessons, which is okay with us. And my teachers got they get frustrated, saying, we've worked hard with the kids, and now you're sending the kids off. The kids are going off to somebody else's lessons that the parents are paying for, while ours free. For me, it's okay. We've done our job. We have turned a child that was a non-reader into a reader. So for us, it's okay. My thing is, what's going on with the education system? What is going on with the schools? How can you have children that are moving from class to class and can't read?
Exactly.
And then you're in 6th grade now, and we have a bunch of 6th graders right now that we're working with because they're writing Common Entrance next month, in 2 months. So you're working with them, and you ask yourself, how did this happen? How did it happen?
Right.
And what happens is they just move them from class to class. Now, 6th grade is where they write Common Entrance, and Common Entrance is the gateway to secondary school education.
Sure.
So if you can't read, obviously you're going to fail.
Absolutely.
Right? And I've been doing this for the last 10 years, so I know the system. But what I've found really strange recently, the last couple of years, is that the children are actually, who can't read, a few of them, are still managing to get into secondary schools. So now you have that in secondary schools, and they can't read.
Right. So you're saying that there is the education system is lacking in the public schools.
In the public school system,
the teachers are not delivering the level of education. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure if it's the teacher that's not delivering it. What I'm saying is the system that they have. If a child cannot read, why promote that child into the higher form, the higher class? Why?
Now,
there is the remedial classes.
I agree with you, and that's where the Ministry of Education needs to come into to play in assessing the child's ability to move forward.
Yes, and I would like to know, I would really like to understand how a child who cannot read a sentence of 5 words, a simple sentence, can make it through Common Entrance exam into a secondary school. That's what I would like to know.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. There are a lot of teachers, there are a lot of Guyanese, Trinidadian teachers, Caribbean teachers here in New York. During the summer months, schools closed here. Would you find it beneficial if we have a bunch of volunteer teachers who are watching the show right now that would be willing to render their services to the facility?
We would love that. We would love that.
Can you tell them, let's speak to them. Can you implore to them, can you explain to them how they can get involved?
We have a website. It's www.goodhope-gy.org. Send us an email. Look at our site. Contact us. We would love to have you on board during the summer to teach our kids. We would love to have you actually train our teachers there. And
that would be an excellent idea.
Yes, right now we have more or less the chalk and talk mentality where you fill the board and they teach them. We would love if you can volunteer with us and teach our teachers actually to teach dynamically, interactively with the kids. and truly connect with the children, because that is some of the things that are lacking. The other thing is they're teaching, most of the teaching is by memorization. We would love a true phonics teacher to come in and actually teach our teachers about phonics.
I think that would be an excellent idea, and I hope that teachers who are watching, or if you have friends or relatives who are teachers, please do have them contact Sandra Shivdat. The information is up on the screen, and to see how best you can help in volunteering the services that are so needed for the teachers at the Lusignan Good Hope Learning Center, so they can continue to make a difference to the children that they're reaching out to the children who are coming through the doors of that learning center, that's making such a tremendous difference in the lives of those destitute children. Sandra, you recently experienced a very unfortunate instance, which you mentioned to me before our taping, about the 14-year-old and the 12-year-old. And I just wanted to ask you to share that story to really folks who are not hearing about the horror that's happening with the young people, that they will see how important your services are to the Learning Center, how important your financial contributions are to the Learning Center. So maybe you can just share that story.
Sure. One of the things that it's very bothersome, and a lot of you out there probably read in the newspapers online, the Guyana newspapers online, will know what I'm talking about. I mean, you have 14-year-old killing a 12-year-old child from the same village. You have you read about 6 and 7-year-old being raped. So my concern is, what is going on in the head of a 14-year-old who will kill a child, rape and kill a child that they grew up with, or a 17-year-old that will murder another 17-year-old that they grew up with? What is going on? What is happening? And in brutal ways and very violent ways. So my concern here is the mindset of these children that are growing up, and what is being done. What is being done to stop this in such a small country? If this is allowed to grow, and it is growing, because like I said, a lot of you there out that is listening or watching this program, read the newspapers online. You know what you read. You've seen the brutality and the violence that's going on with children, and in homes, domestic violence. You've seen that. My concern is, something has to happen. We have to do something. The government has to do something. We as Guyanese have to do something. We have to save those children. That's the future, isn't it? If we as Guyanese want to be proud of the country that we once called homeland and is still our home, then we all have to speak up. We all have to talk. We all have to do stuff to stop this. Because to sit by idly and allow this to happen is synonymous with being part of the problem. At least that's the way I think, and that's the way how I see it.
And that's why you're passionate about the Learning Center, Sandra. You have not given up from the time you started. Now, this Learning Center has been in existence now for how many years?
9.
9 years. So you see the need, and that's why you've stayed with the vision. You've stayed with the, with the Learning Center. You could have easily started, something that you thought was that was needed by the children, and then just kind of quit doing it, but you didn't. And that's the vision that Sandra is imploring and asking of each one of you out there, to get involved in helping her to help those children. And you can do so. We talked about teachers rendering their services, but how about folks who are maybe counselors here?
Yes, counselors.
They can come, in the summer months or whenever you have a vacation, and lend their services in counseling these children.
I would love for counselors to really train counselors to come to the center and talk to these children, because it is really, really needed.
And maybe even starting a program in reaching out to the parents.
Yes.
Having counseling sessions for the parents to open up their eyes to see what they're doing wrong in bringing up and raising their children.
Correct.
Yep. So Sandra, let's focus now a little bit about the financials of the Learning Center and making it success. You depend on contributions from kind-hearted folks out there.
Yes, I do.
Us Caribbean people are very kind-hearted. So please do tell folks how they can help financially. You're an accredited organization. It's a 401. Yes. I mean, a 501c organization.
Yes,
So let's talk about that.
We are a 501c3 organization here in the U.S., so your donations are fully tax deductible. In Guyana, we are part of the Friendly Society. We're registered there. We provide audited accounts to the government of Guyana. So we are an NGO, a legal NGO in Guyana. So we are, again, there's transparency in everything we do. You will see our financials on our website. If you would like to help and donate, you can go on our website and donate directly through the website, or you can send us a check. Our address is on our website as well. It tells you exactly how you can help us, how you can donate, and it's just not money. If you want to donate your time, we welcome you. If you want to donate gently used clothing, summer clothing for the children, we welcome it. Books, footwear, vitamins, anything that you think children would need, school supplies. We partner right now with a middle school in Jefferson County, New Jersey, and it has already been 3 years. We are in our 4th year where the children of the school, the 10 and 11-year-old and 12-year-old of the school, held fundraising activities and raised funds every single year for us.
Yeah.
So anywhere, if you're a teacher and you want to do it through your school, we will come to your school, we'll do a presentation, we will talk to your kids. We also welcome pen pals. If you want to write to our kids, we'll give you the addresses. You can write to our children.
Excellent idea.
We have done that with Jefferson Township Middle School, and we've done it. We had a school in kindergarten in Texas who has sent us, each kid brought in a book and sent it to us. Anywhere you want, you think this is what we're doing, school supplies, and anything to do with children in school. And we also welcome stuff as Colgate and toothbrushes and stuff like that for our kids.
Wonderful. Well, the way you can help is definitely open. And to find out more about the organization, I'd like to encourage you to go online. The information is up on the screen. The phone number is up on the screen. You can also give Sandra a call. She'll be happy to speak with you. Sandra, we look forward to hearing great things of the Lusignan Good Hope Learning Center, and do let us know when the fundraiser is planned here in New York, so that we can help to promote it and encourage our community to come out and really be part of it as well, because you do depend on the financial contributions to make sure that the facilities run efficiently, that the children's lives are happier once they're at the learning center. You provide snacks to them, and just making their lives more enjoyable. And it doesn't take one person to do that. It takes a group of us to help. So I'd like to implore to all of you, and to encourage all of you that are watching, to make that phone call, to go online, give a donation, see how best you can provide your services, whether you're a teacher, a counselor, in whatever way. Your services would be much appreciated by Sandra Shivdat. So, Sandra, thank you again.
Thank you very, very much, Tanuja.
You're very welcome. And I also wanted to thank Kevin Granger for making this possible as well. Kevin is a mutual friend of both of us.
Yes.
And what a philanthropic individual, humanitarian.
Yes.
All the way.
Kevin is one of our biggest donors.
Yes, he's an awesome individual, and he sees the vision, a proud Guyanese, and we'd like to ask all of you to see that vision as well, which I'm sure you do, but you just want to find a credible organization that you can support. And the Lusignan Good Hope facility is certainly a credible organization that you'll see, where your tax-deductible contributions are going. So we want to thank you for tuning in and for being enlightened by this program today, and we look forward to your continued support.
Thank you.